Hi everyone, today I thought I'd do a little video looking at some of the original Batman the Animated Series production artwork that I have in my collection. I kind of recently got into buying the artwork that led to the cartoon being created. Can't even remember how I got into it, but I did. I started buying the original cells and production drawings and background paintings, and I thought it would be cool to have a look at some of those today. Now, if you've seen my social media at all, you've probably seen a picture of my office, and the walls are absolutely covered in Batman the Animated Series prints, cells and artwork, and I've kind of run out of room. But that's not stopped me from buying other things. So I thought to start things off, to show you, I bought a portfolio on Amazon. Just perhaps get a better look at it there. It's just a regular A3 portfolio. And I bought a Batman the Animated Series print on eBay and just slipped it in the front there. And ironically, well, is it ironic? I don't know. Amusingly, let's say the print itself was much more expensive than this portfolio. This portfolio, if I just slip through here, you know, it's got plastic wallets in there. Can hold 40 individual pieces, but if you double up, then obviously you'll get 80. So this is where I store the artwork that I have not been able to put on my walls. I've taken everything out now just for ease of recording this video, but this is where it resides. So let's move that out of the way. Now, the first piece I want to look at here is a production drawing from the episode Growing Pains in the New Batman Adventures. Now, in my mind, I always think of the new Batman Adventures as not being anywhere near as good as Batman the Animated Series. But actually, in reality, when you sit down and think about it, a lot of their episodes were great. And they had very few duds. Whereas Batman the Animated Series, a lot of the early episodes, frankly, weren't very good. One of my favourites from the new Batman Adventures is the episode Growing Pains, in which Robin befriends a mysterious amnesiac girl who he names Annie, as she is being pursued by this menacing figure that claims to be her father. If you've seen the episode, then you know it turns out that her father is Clayface, and she is an extension of him that kind of wandered off and gained sentience. It's a very emotional episode, very touching, which is why I like it. I'm a sucker for a sad story. And this sketch here shows Robin comforting Annie shortly after she realises who she is. I'm not sure if the camera's picking this up very well, but you can, maybe if I move a little closer, if my hand behind it isn't obscuring it, you can see they've etched in the outline of the pipes that are not visible behind Robin and Annie, so that whoever was doing the animation or whoever was doing the background knew exactly where each of the items were. And if I just briefly flip over onto the other side, you can see they started the drawing here with a red pencil, and for whatever reason flipped over and finished the thing off here. Now maybe the red drawing on the background was visible on this side and it helped them complete this, but it's such a wonderful drawing. It's very tatty, it's got a bit of old tape on it, wrinkled up. The Japanese writing on it here, because New Batman Adventures, a lot of their episodes are actually handled directly by the Japanese studios that the animation was outsourced to. But I really love this piece. I think it's beautiful, and I would put it up on my walls if I had the space. And you can see here it's got the little official seal stuck on the artwork there, just to confirm that yes, this is really a piece of original animation production artwork. It came with a certificate of authenticity as well from the gallery that it was bought from, but I've not taken that out of here because it's not really very interesting. But anyway, this is a great one to start off with. It's probably my favourite of the lot. But yeah, great episode, lovely artwork. A lot of the production artwork that you can buy online is often not very detailed. The backgrounds are very rarely included. You'll see in a moment actually what I mean when I move on to the next piece. So this next piece is from the episode The Cat and the Claw, part 1, which was the first episode to air in the UK. And you can see here it's Selena Kyle sat down brushing her hair. You can see her assistant Maven there and 2 of her cats. This is an interesting thing they've done here. So you can kind of see the rough outline of a cat drawing here. I guess the cat was too large, because you can see a slightly smaller drawing of the cat has been taped over the top, and there are pink notes in here, presumably for the animators, because I don't know what they mean. But if you compare this to the Growing Pains piece, the background's not present. Even the furniture's not present. And, well, you'll see, this is actually 4 pieces of art stuck together, stapled together. So you can see the animation for Selena Kyle as she's finishing brushing her hair and looking down. You can see Maven is slightly more prominent. They didn't even bother drawing that static cat, which was visible here, I guess because the cat wasn't required to move. But then the second cat, you can see, is now shown heading off screen. And I presume that these outlines here indicate the border of what is visible and what is not. And can I have a look under here? I'm very nervous about this because this is, you know, a 30-year-old drawing. No, I can't really. I worry about damaging it. But then the other drawings are, this is just a drawing of the chair that Selena Kyle is sat upon. And then the final one is the illustration of the background. So you can see it's her dressing table and the curtains. And what, do each of these have a stamp on them, or is it? Didn't actually check that, but yeah, they've each got a stamp on them here. But yeah, this one's really cool. The guy that sold me this, he actually had another similar sequence from when Selena Kyle answers the door when Bruce Wayne turns up for their date. But I opted to go for this one because it had cats in it, and I'm a sucker for cats. I'm a cat man. I much prefer cats over dogs. I'm not going to get into it with anyone. It's just the way I am. But yeah, this one, nice piece. You can see up here, Maven, aunt, date. So I guess that's, the sentence starts with aunt and ends with date. So that's just to indicate when this illustration takes place. It's a nice one. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I don't love the episode The Cat and the Claw that much, although it was the very first one that I saw. So it's really cool to own a piece of this. Now this next one, I love this piece because of how detailed it is. This is taken from the episode What is Reality, in which the Riddler traps Commissioner Gordon in a virtual world. And you can see the quote here, the dialogue for Edward Nygma. The sudden stop would be like slamming into a brick wall at 400 miles an hour. And the action is Gordon dissolves into Riddler. So much detail in this drawing, and so many little notes here, like cycle, action, face lines ripple. Is that ripple back? Face lines ripple back towards ear. Yes, they do. Action, left eye twitches randomly. Now this episode is not a great episode. The animation isn't very good. But when you look at, you know, these original production drawings that were there to guide the animation studio, I think it was ACOM, not 100% certain. I've accused ACOM of being behind some bad episodes before, and turns out it wasn't them. They didn't do I've Got Batman in My Basement. But I think they did this one, and you can kind of see why some members of the production team would say that they were disappointed with the outcome of ACOM's episodes, or some of the episodes, I should say. I should stop blaming ACOM for everything. When they've had an original sketch like this, is just, it's just wonderful. It's great. I really love this piece. I don't know what else to say about it. It's lovely. If I look on the back, there's nothing extra here, so there's no, you know, there's no draft 1 on here. If I hold that up to the light, you can see it in reverse. While I'm on the theme of talking about sketches, Now, I do have a couple of them up on my wall, but I've taken them down for this video. So this one here, hopefully the glass isn't causing too many problems with the reflection. So this is taken from the Demon's Quest Part 2. You can see there it's got the original production art stamp, but it's kind of worn out a bit. I got this from a seller on eBay, and he was based in the UK, and unfortunately it didn't come with the certificate of authenticity, and because it was missing that certificate, he sold it to me at a slightly lower price, which I'm okay with. But you know, this is the famous iconic scene of Batman and Ra's al Ghul stripped to the waist having a sword fight in the middle of a desert. Yeah, it's a nice piece. It's one of the earliest sketches that I bought. But yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's in a basic frame. I ordered it online doing all the measurements myself, which I was quite proud of, because the first time I did it, I got the measurements completely wrong. And, you know, it didn't fit in there properly. The borders were like this. So it cut out half of the illustration. But, you know, second time's the charm. Along similar lines, now this one, I got this from a pop-up art gallery in Essex at Lakeside Shopping Centre. Pulse Art Gallery, I think they're called. They had primarily Disney artwork there, but they had a lot of Simpsons and Ren and Stimpy original production art as well. And tucked away, they had this Poison Ivy sketch and a cell from the episode Appointment in Crime Alley. And I bought both of them. This is from, I think this is from Harley and Ivy, this Poison Ivy sketch, and I think it's a really nice one. You can kind of see, maybe if I get a little closer, you can see that they've had a lot of attempts at getting the hair right or her figure right. Lots of red and blue lines before they commit to it in the darker pencil. And they stuck the certificate of authenticity on the back of the frame here. And it's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't taken this out of its frame and put it somewhere else. Because I don't think I can get this certificate of authenticity off without ripping it, and I don't want to do that. So, although this frame that it's come with, a silver one with a blue border, I'm going to leave it like that because I don't want to accidentally ruin the certificate of authenticity. But yeah, this is a lovely drawing. My wife likes this one as well because she's very fond of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn and Catwoman, actually. But yeah, she likes these. And the last thing I want to show today is an original background. If I lift this animation cell up, I should say the acetate sheet really, because it's not really an animation cell because there's no characters on it. But if I lift this up, you can get a better look at the background painting, which is done on a piece of black paper. Apparently that was quite uncommon. No other show had done that before. You can see the texture of the paint, and this is Coburn Calamari. This is from the episode The Man Who Killed Batman, and it's when Sidney, what is his surname? Is it Sidney Dupree? Anyway, Sidney is talking to his gangster friend and going, "Oh, I wish I had a cool gangster name." And his friend looks up, sees this sign and says, "How about Sid the Squid?" But you can see it's got the artist's signature on it. Squid billboard. Yeah, it's lovely. I'm going to touch this. I don't know if you can see, but it's left a very faint residue of paint on my fingertip there. I bought I think it was the second piece I ever bought was from an animation cell from the episode Mudslide, and it had the original background with like the green sky. And when I took it out of the packaging, I touched it and left a very clear green residue on my fingers. So I was very careful with handling it from that point on. But thankfully they've included an acetate sheet here to protect the paint. So often when you buy animation cells, you'll get a printed version of the background because they only made one background for the dozens of cells that were used on that sequence. But this one, it's just come with the background, and I'm very happy with this. I actually got in touch with the artist. I hope I'm saying his name right, but John Calmetti. I got in touch with him a couple of years ago to ask him if I could get a commission of a painting of Gotham City, and he was really nice to me. He was very polite. He got back to me really quickly and just said that he was way too busy to take on any commissions, and actually he'd got rid of all of his paint airbrushes and paints because he does everything digitally and has done since the late 90s. So I've got one now, this Coburn calamari sign, and it's nice and subtle, and you know, if I put this in a nice frame and had it up in my front room, no one would know that this was from Batman, apart from the fact that it is labelled Batman right there. But you know, just casually walking past, it's just, oh, it's an industrial looking building with a calamari sign. That's nice. And that's kind of what I wanted, really. Something subtle that I would know what it means, but a lot of other people probably wouldn't. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to go through today. I think some other time I can show my animation cells, but I have 7 animation cells and they're up on my walls, and they've got the glass in front of them to protect them, and the glass is really reflective. So if you try to film something, you can't really see the image properly. In fact, I'll probably cut away to what it looks like when I try to film them. I'll show you the mudslide one, I think. But you know, if you want to see more, let me know and I'll do another video. Okay, that's it from me. These are now going back into my precious portfolio. All right, well, thanks for watching if you made it to the end. If you ever want to know where to get these, just ask. I mean, most of the sellers have actually got stores on eBay, but if you reach out to them privately, either through their Facebook pages or through their websites, they'll often do, they're often willing to do special deals for, you know, if you contact them directly, which is how I get most of mine now. In fact, my main art dealer, he sends out a newsletter once a month, and I'm always tempted to buy something which is very bad for my wallet.